everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So in today's video, I'm going to be covering a new bill that is bipartisan, and if passed, it's going to increase Social Security benefits for millions of Americans. So we're going to be going over what the bill is and who will be affected if the bill passed and who is going to receive these increased benefits. Also, with the House Republicans looking to pass their debt ceiling bill that's going to increase the debt ceiling, we're going to be going over some potentially new work requirements for people receiving SNAP benefits. So we're going to be going over what those are as well. Now, before I dive into the main content of today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Okay, so according to Semaphore, Republicans end the week short on votes for their debt ceiling plan. So right now they are trying to garner enough votes to get this bill passed to the House. Next week they will just need 218. The problem is they have a very slim majority, so it might be difficult to get this bill through. Now they have a lot of spending cuts in this bill to try to make the budget balance. And one of these cuts is going to involve SNAP benefits. So they want to institute some new work requirements. So we're going to be covering that right now. So Kevin McCarthy has his work cut out for him next week. As of Friday afternoon, the House Speaker still hadn't wrapped up enough votes to pass the Republicans' party line debt ceiling bill, according to sources keeping tabs on the whip count. What's more, they said it's unclear how McCarthy could satisfy his members' clashing demands. One House Republican aide described the situation as a mess that would need to be dealt with in the coming days. They blame the impasse on members more interested in generating headlines than actually reaching a deal. Food stamps have emerged as one major point of contention. The legislation would already take steps to stiffen some of the safety net program's eligibility rules, but hardline conservatives want to go further by requiring able-bodied recipients to work at least 30 hours a week instead of the 20 needed under current law. Some Northeastern Republicans are balking at the demand, however. They include Representative Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania, who warned this week that he doesn't want the program's work requirements to become too onerous. So the House Republicans here are saying that in order to raise the debt ceiling in this bill, they want to increase the work requirements in order to receive SNAP benefits from the 20 hours that it is already for able-bodied recipients up to 30 hours per week. So this would be an increase of 10 hours for people who are considered able-bodied recipients. Now, I will say that even if they are able to get this bill passed to the House, once it reaches the Senate, it will need at least 60 votes. And right now, Democrats do have a narrow majority in the Senate with 51 seats compared to the Republicans just having 49. So if this bill does pass with those new requirements, once it reaches the Senate, more than likely it will not pass. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Now, meanwhile, a new bill was just introduced this month that would actually increase SNAP benefits. So according to 9 News, Colorado U.S. Representative introduced this bill that would reinstate COVID-related SNAP benefits lost in March. U.S. Representative Yadira Caravo introduced a bill to bring back something more than 500,000 Coloradans recently lost. SNAP recipients saw a drop in their benefits last month after the extra boost approved during the pandemic came to an end. According to the state, on average, the reduction of food stamps was about $90 per person per month, or $360 for a family of 4. So since the loss of benefits, food banks of the Rockies said they've seen an increase in people looking for help. They said, quote, "It's really shocking to see how the increase in the number of people attending our mobile pantries. In Colorado in March 2022, we saw about 6,500 people attend our mobile pantries. And then this March, so March 2023, we had over 10,300 people attend. That's a 60% increase over the same time last year." And also, Rand Remick is a SNAP recipient. She saw her benefits drop by more than $500. So obviously, with this drop off in SNAP benefit aid from the COVID pandemic inclusion in the boost of those SNAP benefits, there wasn't as many people going to mobile food pantries. Now, since those extra benefits in, we're now seeing an uptick in people attending those. Of course, there are a lot of other factors as well, with 40-year record high inflation obviously causing prices at grocery stores to soar. I think all American families, even those who are not currently receiving any type of SNAP benefits are really feeling the pinch right now. If you fill up your grocery cart, you're noticing that you're filling it up about half as much as you used to, yet you're actually paying more every single week that you go to buy groceries. So everyone is definitely feeling the pinch right now. But moving into some other news regarding Social Security benefits. So a bill was introduced in both the House as well as the Senate. This is a bipartisan bill, and it's creating a lot of support from both sides of the aisle. So Congresswoman looks to nix Social Security provisions, and Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger is looking to gin up support for her proposal to eliminate federal provisions she says are unfairly diminishing retirement funds for government workers. More than 6,100 current and former public employees have responded to the Congresswoman's non-scientific survey soliciting input on the impact certain Social Security rules have on public workers' retirement benefits. The survey, launched April 4th, was conducted as part of Spanberger's efforts to roll back the windfall elimination provision, formula, and government pension offset rule. In January, Spanberger of Virginia's 7th District and Louisiana Republican Representative Garrett Graves reintroduced the Social Security Fairness Act to eliminate the WEP and GPO. Since reintroduction, the legislation has garnered more than 200 co-sponsors across bipartisan lines. An earlier version of the bill, which Spanberger co-sponsored in 2021, ultimately died. Respondents to Spanberger's survey came from federal employees, police officers, firefighters, educators, and other public workers, the Congresswoman said in a news release. So now we're going to be covering what exactly is WEP and GPO for those who are unfamiliar. So according to the American Association of Retired Persons, the WEP is a formula that can reduce the size of government workers' Social Security retirement or disability benefits if they receive a pension from a job in which they did not pay Social Security taxes. And according to AARP, about 3% of all Social Security beneficiaries, roughly 2 million people, are affected by the WEP. As far as the GPO goes, the GPO reduces public employees' spousal benefits if their pension is from a non-covered government job in which the federal taxes that largely fund Social Security were not withheld from their paycheck, according to AARP. Now, this rule affects about 1% of all Social Security beneficiaries, or roughly 735,000 people. So this would obviously affect millions of Americans in a good way by increasing their benefits if they're able to get this passed through. Now, just going to quickly look at this bill right here in the House. You can see the Social Security Fairness Act of 2023 by Representative Garrett Graves. And right now you can see the co-sponsors, 232 co-sponsors. Now keep in mind, in order to get this bill through the House, they would need at least 218 votes. They have more than 218 co-sponsors at this point in time, 165 Democrats, 67 Republicans. So this is very much a bipartisan bill that should most definitely pass in the House if it is ever voted on. Now let's go ahead and pull up the Social Security Fairness Act. This is the bill that was introduced in the Senate by Sherrod Brown. And at this point, they have 38 co-sponsors. Now in the Senate, they would need at least 60 votes, 60 approvals to get this thing passed through the Senate. Right now, they only have 38 co-sponsors. So they would need 22 more votes, but you can see once again, it's bipartisan. They have 31 Democrats, 4 Republicans, and 3 independents on board with this bill. So I very much think that it has a great chance. It definitely will pass in the House if it's ever voted on, but I also think it has a really good chance of passing in the Senate as well if it is ever voted on. Now, the only real downside of this bill is the fact that at this point in time, according to recent estimates by the trustees report, the Social Security Trust Fund looks like it's going to be depleted, where at that point they will only be able to pay out around 80% of benefits, so you'll receive like a 20% benefit cut in around the years of 2033 to 2034. So if they pass this, the Social Security Trust Fund will be depleted even faster since they're going to be paying out even more benefits. So that would be the real downside. However, what they really need to do in the end is just fix the Social Security Trust Fund where they're able to bring in more money. But that's all we have for today's video. I certainly hope that you enjoyed. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.